Christopher Robin!
I walked across an empty land. I knew the pathway like the back of my hand.
We will have a contest to find a new tale for Eeyore.
I used to think that Winnie the Pooh was just a simple, sweet children's book, made even sweeter by the magic of Disney animation. Then I come to realize that all these characters are representative of drug addicts.
I thought there was a cross-section of America in general. You know, you've got like the guy who's just like, more, give it to me. The honey that rhymes with money.
You could say that, but I always saw Winnie the Pooh. He's a pothead. You know, he's real.
A honey pothead. Is that
He's more of a.
No, I meant like weed, motherfuckers. He's smoking spliffs and waking up every day talking like this, and
He's more of a crack addict, actually, because I don't think I've ever met anyone on weed who actually starts to hallucinate. Just weed everywhere in their everything that they see. I see that more with crack addicts.
They do get that
starting
hungry.
to foam at the mouth.
They do get that hungry.
maybe his dealer has just been lacing his pot because he does. He's all kind of sleepy and mellow. That's the thing about Winnie the Pooh, man. He is mellow.
He is mellow.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's got bees chasing him. He knows to run, but he's just like, hey, man, it's all cool.
It's
Hey,
good.
man, do you have any honey on you?
yeah.
Well,
It would be cooler if you did.
It's good to finally have a kids film that deals with addiction, though. That's what you're teaching these kids early on.
look
But it also teaches them, like, hey, you got an addiction? It's all right, because somebody's going to hook you up.
Yeah, it's always these animals are okay. They're all kind of dumb, but yet all of them have some. Al is a coke addict. He's a cokehead because he's always talking like this about himself. You know,
That's true. He's got delusions of grandeur.
yeah.
He's always writing.
Eeyore's an alcoholic. He's just depressed all the
Well,
time.
he's clinically depressed. It's like, I wish somebody could help me find my tail. It's like, hey, why don't you look for your Prozac and shit?
That guy's the ultimate emo. I was like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
How come they don't call emo kids Eeyore kids? I mean, that would make more sense.
And Tigger's a goddamn meth addict. I mean, Tigger even got meth face. You see how big his jaw is? His face is all sucked in.
I know, no teeth.
No teeth. Yeah.
Besides, if anyone was going to come out of a dark corner and jump on you, grab your wallet, it's going to be Tigger.
Give me your shit.
I got your wallet. Who robbed you? Some big striped, fuzzy orange guy? He's spraying everywhere. Yeah, man. It's you know what? I hate even talking like this.
I know, man. Why you going to desecrate the 100-acre wood?
I know, man. This is
God damn it, Corey.
I know he got mad at me in the movie because there's a part where Winnie the Pooh goes up to Al's house and he's like, Al, do you have any honey? Just a little bit, just a smidgen, just a drop. And then I whisper it to Leon. I said, I'll suck your dick. And he's like, come on, man, this is Winnie the Pooh, man.
The children.
But that was funny what you said.
Well, you were thinking it. That's why I said it.
I wasn't thinking until you said it.
I think every grown adult in that theater was thinking that. I mean, how can you not
Later
think
on,
that?
though, when it was like the 18th time that they had dangled honey in front of Pooh's face, only to yank it away. Corey and I both kind of at the same time were like having Pooh go, "This is some bullshit."
That's what I said. Yeah, actually, he said it to me. But I was thinking that for Winnie the Pooh because I was like, he's been fiending for honey through this whole movie, and there's a part where he actually has it, and they just let it float away from him. I'm like, y'all know he's wanted this shit, all right? Y'all just go look at him.
And his reaction is priceless. I mean, he's just
Mauled
like
the shit out of him.
just that one scene alone. I was like, that's what Winnie the Pooh is all about, right there.
Winnie the Pooh is it's about loss and just being able to deal with it. Smoke a spliff, you'll be all right.
It is having a band of wacky friends, much like you guys, and just learn to just deal with their idiosyncrasies.
Yeah, right.
Well, I hate even reading into this so much because this is Disney's. I think that they're probably the most endearing and lasting franchise as far as being able to just retain its simplicity over the ages and still work. I mean,
and its dignity.
I mean, the last movie that came out was in 2005. It was like the Huffalump movie. I never saw it, but I heard critics were just going crazy over it.
Well, after seeing this, like before, I was like, how could you? After seeing this, I was like, okay, I can believe it. I haven't seen the movie either, but I can say it is weird how Disney's chosen this property to make money off of, make sequels and TV shows, and then still keep the integrity about it.
Well, it's very simple. I mean, there's as long as you don't try and go too crazy and too off of the core idea of what this is about and what these characters are about, then you're kind of safe. People constantly relate to the different personality types of each of the characters, and the way in the end, despite their differences, their idiosyncrasies are just plain idiots. They all still get along. They do the right thing in the end every time. And the message, like here, for instance, and a lot of these is like, look, put your friends first, and eventually the reward will come back to you anyway.
Yeah.
It's like that Sting song.
Yeah. It's just nice to see that. It's just nice to see that nobody's trying to put him in like a red hoodie or anything like that, or trying to like make it more smart than it needs to be, or attempt to make it more urbanized or whatever you modernize it to the point where you don't need to do any of that. There's a reason why, like I've said it before with a lot of other properties, there's a reason why these properties work.
Now, it's been a long time since I've seen one of these, but isn't the whole sort of fourth wall breaking concept in here new though?
No. If
Is that always there?
you go back and watch the original Winnie the Pooh movie that they did, this is so close. It's really close without feeling like a ripoff or a retread. It's just like it's
a continuation.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because it did a lot of the breaking the fourth wall, playing with the book.
Pooh left feeling unsatisfied and a little out of sorts. In fact, he was so distracted by his rumbly tummy that he didn't notice that he was walking onto the next paragraph.
What is a paragraph?
It's a group of sentences that form a complete thought.
Is there honey in this paragraph?
Oh, sorry, Pooh, no.
Well then, I don't find it very useful.
Okay.
Being very creative.
I wasn't sure.
Because I've never seen any of these Winnie the Pooh movies ever. I don't think I remember like some of the cartoons that they used to do,
right?
But nothing that I'd like actually sit down and watch. So watching this though, I was like, wow, this is actually clever. I mean, I have to say, this is probably like one of the most interesting and by far one of the best animated films I've seen in a long time.
It's what they did with the first one. Like, it's been so long since I've seen it, but I was like, wow, I remember what I got out of it was how it was really clever. And they did it would be artsy and do really cool things, and you don't expect that from something like this. A story about a bunch of stuffed animals that talk. Yeah. But I was like, man, they really took advantage of it, and here they did it again.
Oh, yeah, and the humor. That's the one thing about this movie that really impressed me, was how they can keep the humor so simple and so good for like a kid to enjoy, and at the same time an adult to enjoy. Where I'm like, wow, you don't have to throw any kind of weird innuendos or anything like that to play up to the adults in the audience. Even though we all, if you take enough time to really look, you can make up your own crazy shit. Even though I'm sure the filmmakers don't intend for you to do that. But
innuendo? I mean, it's like two bears, one cup. I'm not sure what you're picturing.
I'm saying like
reference stuff we were saying before.
That they're all drug addicts.
Yes.
Dependency problems.
Which I actually see in like a lot of like the newer animated films, like even Pixar. I mean, I see some things where it's like the kids won't understand with this, but hey, here's something that looks like a dick.
And I know, hey, here you go, Dad. I know you had to give up your Saturday to take your kids here, so here's a little something for you.
Yeah.
And you know something, you make a good point, because during this property has been around for years. It's gone through many incarnations. Disney, as they promptly ganked this from the A.A. Milne or Milne, whatever books, a series of stories. Milne.
Yeah.
They pretty much, people forget that this was actually a series of stories, and they forget what the original illustrated Pooh looks like. Disney has pretty much stolen that and said, this is our shit.
Right.
And when you think of Pooh, you're going to think of our Pooh.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but these weren't necessarily so much kids' books, right?
No, they were.
No,
they
totally.
Were they?
No,
Are you thinking of like the Tao of Pooh and stuff like that?
Maybe
Which were
that's
written
what I'm
years
thinking
later
about.
as a sort of like the philosophy that you can take out of Winnie the Pooh.
No, but these stories, especially in the Disney incarnation, were adopted by the hippie culture, I believe.
Very much so.
In the 60s. And today you can even see that, because here in Austin we have Eeyore's birthday.
Yeah, we had
which
Eeyore's
is nothing
birthday.
but a bunch of funky ass hippies.
Yeah, a bunch of naked hippie girls hanging around,
exactly.
playing the drums.
It's kind of thing. Like,
and I love
if
it.
Eeyore was there, he'd be sitting in the corner depressed, wanting to go home.
He'd be more depressed.
Yeah.
That'd be that's
he
what I was
wouldn't
like,
be
take him
invited
over.
to the party. That's the thing.
Hey man, cheer up!
That's the point where
It's Freedom Rock.
Get away from me, you fucking hippie.
that's the one where that's the one where Eeyore finally been in the corner talking about, God damn it, it's come to this.
They didn't even invite me
Hey,
much
check
to
out that
my own
pinata in the
goddamn
corner.
party.
Oh no, Eeyore's hung himself.
Eeyore set
I've
himself
always
on fire.
thought of a T-shirt, and I would never be the one to do it, but I always thought of a T-shirt where you would see Eeyore's legs dangling from something, and Pooh Bear would be looking up, saying, and the caption below would be, "Oh bother," because you do think like Eeyore's going.
Yeah.
Well, I want them to stop making these movies because they're gonna make the one where Eeyore offs himself. You know?
Hey, you know what? I think co-host is right that Eeyore is just the emo. I mean, he's all depressed and everything, but he whines a little too much. I'm like, you
He
just want
likes
attention.
it.
Oh, he's
likes
almost
it
a
a
10.
little too
Yeah,
much,
yeah,
yeah.
And he ain't that.
Always
sad.
has to be about him and his damn tail.
I know. This means one episode where this Pooh just slaps the shit out of him. Snap out of it.
I just like to see the very least they come on him and he's like cutting his legs.
He's a cutter too.
Stuffing coming out.
Oh my god.
He's got stitches all over it now.
Anybody noticing me? Please.
Into Bauhaus.
Maybe, right. Maybe that's Tigger. Maybe Tigger's actually a lion, not a tiger.
Actually be listening to Joy Division or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, and it's always worked. I mean, no matter what Disney has done with this, and believe me, they've been making their money off of it. But it's been it was one of the first Saturday morning cartoons that came on that I thought like, Disney has a Saturday morning cartoon and actually looked good, and it worked as a Saturday morning cartoon. They have well, I know it might still be around. They have a CG version of Winnie the Pooh, which is kind of cool looking because it's based on, I think, actual motion capture in some scenes, and then they had one in the 80s where
I like when they did the one with puppets.
That was, you thinking about the one where they did one with puppets, yeah. And then they did one where they had people dressed up in costumes.
Jesus,
there was I'm telling you, they have pimped out Pooh for decades.
But at the same time, as co-host pointed out, they didn't do to him. They didn't bend him over like they did with Bugs Bunny and change him into a hip hop rapper or a superhero
or cyber superhero.
Yeah, cyber superhero.
No, this is one of the few properties that you will see over the decades that has, as you said, again, has retained its dignity. They realized that.
Ooh, he could be a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Kilowog going, boozers, come on.
Oh God! I'm shocked that Disney didn't do that.
No, this is the one where they have realized like this works as it is. No matter how many of these stories that we tell, this continues to work. And for this one, this is actually supposed to be 5 stories in one. And they narrowed it down to 3 stories. I don't know. I've never read too many of these stories. I've read some when I was a kid, but I don't know which ones they were. And I don't know how they mixed them up.
But you're saying this movie?
This movie is supposed to be a combination of 3 stories. I mean, 5 stories and narrowed it down to 3. In fact, you even supposed to see Rabbit's family in this. And
now, how do you know it's supposed to be all that stuff?
Read about it.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
So it's like
just,
Winnie the Pooh shortcuts or something?
Well,
It's like
even
Robert
the
Altman's
original,
the Pooh?
the old movie, it was that way. It might have been 5 stories.
Well, you know what? It was seamless because I couldn't tell.
I wouldn't have guessed
It's
that.
kind of a rambling tale, but it's a good way that they take you from one to the next, and it all link. They link it all
Seems
together.
pretty focused within here. It never feels like, oh, here's a bunch of stories that come together. It's just, I mean, Eeyore loses his tail, and so everyone's like, well, we need to get together and find this tail. And Pooh's like, yeah, and we need to find that honey soon. No, the tail, Pooh. Yeah.
well, that's how a lot of these start out.
And that's the plot right there.
Well,
Yeah.
it seems random, but they tie it in because Pooh is fiending for honey one day, and him trying to find honey usually leads to a lot of other misadventures. In this movie, it goes anywhere from them trying to find a big creature called the
Baxen.
The Baxen, all the way to them trying to get out of a hole, and where you get to see just how pretty much stupid all these characters are. And there's a charm in that stupidity, though.
Yeah, there's total charm in it,
They're
yeah.
stupid in the way like the Three Stooges are stupid.
Exactly.
So you it's done in a way that's funny. It's not like you're going like, you guys are morons and this is boring and I'm out of here. It's like, watch this movie and I'm like, wow, I forgot how much fun cartoonists can have when they're just like given the space to do it.
Oh, yeah.
just it's a simple concept, but just make it funny and just be playful with it.
And yet, I kept, as I was watching this, thinking to myself, I would kind of like to see this live action, but about the inmates from an escaped insane asylum. I mean, like harmless ones, but like these guys are kind of mildly retarded. Some of them, other ones are like tripping schizophrenics and stuff, and they're having these wacky adventures.
You see,
in the woods.
Innuendo.
Hey,
there you go.
That's the next movie. That's the next movie where Cyrus fucks it up.
I'm sorry. Did I piss on your childhood?
Yes.
Nah, this is a very sweet movie, man. I love the way it does seem random, but it's all tied up. Like all these complicated adventures they have, all to wrap back up with Pooh finally getting his honey one way or another. And
Spoiler.
What? Yeah, come on now. Come on. It's like,
That's the biggest spoiler of all. He doesn't get his honey ever.
I want to say something because I know that it's not a real spoiler, but yet
Yes, it
technically,
is. Totally is.
technically you are right.
It is very
Yeah.
much technically my ass. Right.
Who else would know more than Leon?
Yeah.
whether or not it's
People know. I mean,
The end.
this always happens to Pooh. He always finds a honey. This ain't nothing new.
What if this is the one where it wasn't going to happen?
You are not going to do this to me. I am not guilty of the crimes that you say.
This movie was a game changer.
You open this up saying this movie is about Pooh's search for honey, and then later you go on to say, and so when he finds the honey, whoa, what the hell, man?
Well, at least I didn't tell them that everybody dies in this. So, it's all right. No, man.
Well, someday.
Toys will never die.
when Christopher Robin grows up and becomes a pyromaniac, starts burning his old toys to try to fit in with the cool gang at school.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing because it is the imaginary world of a small boy named Christopher Robin. In his room, he is a collector of many things.
He's a hoarder.
He's a hoarder. Yeah, he's a hoarder on the rise. But his favorite thing to hoard are his stuffed animals, and so the animals in the 100-acre wood, meaning his fucked up mind, are all
The
these.
kid's going to have an even more fucked up time when he gets older.
Yeah.
It's like now you can lay it all out. I'm like, man,
Yeah, he's kind of
Christopher Robin,
insane. And all these animals, because really,
he's due for some hard
you
times.
start to think like he doesn't have any friends, so that's why he talks to these animals all the time. These stuffed animals.
I think it's starting to, my theory is starting to sound a little more realistic,
Oh, yeah.
huh?
I think this is like the prequel to Son of Sam. I mean,
Because I know if I was Christopher Robin, my father would have came in. What you doing all these stuffed animals? That's for girls. Get this shit on out of my house. Better pick up a football or something. No son of mine.
and that one red balloon that you just
And that
you
one red
insist
balloon?
on having all
Oh,
the
you like
time.
these stuffed animals, huh, boy? You want me to buy your dress now? You want to get a perm? Is that what
This
you want,
is
boy?
Winnie the Pooh, not Winnie the neighborhood crack hoe.
Not yet. But you know what? People, in spite of all about joking, I just have to say, I can make some small quibbles about this film, but really, if I complain about anything, it's just like saying, well, there's nothing like very eventful here when you think of movies these days, because we have a tendency to think of children's films now as being some overblown CG movie with a lot of
with celebrity voices,
and
and remakes of popular songs from the 70s and 80s.
They have the latest pop song that they have to sell through that film. There's always pop culture references there. They have to jam adult humor in there to appeal to the parents that brought them in.
Let me redirect you to Cars 2.
Yeah. Well, and even Cars 2 didn't do all that. Cars 2 was just, suffered from being extremely plain to the point of just being uninspired and bad. But
Extremely
this
boring.
movie right here is just, it's a sweet little film that the songs in the movie, which by the way are there's 3 songs done by Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, one of them like composed by her partner that's in the band.
I know she did at least the ending credits, and
She sang Winnie the Pooh
I
at
think
the
she did
beginning.
the very beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, and the songs are really spectacular, but in the context of this being, because this truly is a children's film, and it works as a children's film. I mean, they're fun songs for little kids. This movie was very sweet, and I walked out of it in the best mood, and I loved it for that. Really, in a time where we're getting things like Smurfs and all these movies where we feel like we got to take these characters and put them like in an urban setting so that we can connect with them. This movie doesn't do that. It would really be hard pressed for me to give this anything other than a full price. I mean, even at the movie tonight, I don't like to judge audiences. I really don't. Because I don't like to use that as a meter because they're different every time, and at a screening we know that's especially different. But I heard parents and adults well, kids and adults, like
And us.
grandparents, and us in there. Yeah, kids and adults just in there having a good time. In fact, there was one guy.
Yeah, there's
who was,
some middle-aged guy sitting behind us who was narrating the entire movie.
Oh, he was not. You know what? I was fine with that because he was having a great time.
You know what? It is the new thing for me where I'm stuck, where part of me wants to go like, dude, come on, you're not at home, knock it off. But I go like, man, he is having such a good time. I don't want to rain on his parade.
Like that part when Pooh fell into the pit, and then you could tell the honey pot was gonna fall next, and that guy behind it like on the head. Yeah, and I was like, man, this guy's having a good time, and he had no kids.
I know, that was the thing.
Yeah, I look behind
That's
me.
the sad part.
But
That's when you got to feel really bad for the guy.
Full of kids who were like noisy before the movie started, and they were totally chilled out when the movie was playing. And because this was the movie that talked to them. If you happen to take big sister or big brother to see some other film, and you got the little toddler with you or the small child, I don't think you'd be disappointed escorting them into this movie. It's a really good time, and also it's short. It's 63 minutes. They even had to tack a short before this to give it appropriate feature length running time. So yeah, full price for me, man.
I was shocked in as much as that short that comes before it. I didn't care for that at all. And that trailer for the Muppets movie, I think is just I think it's just bland.
I heard you groaning.
It just makes me go like, man, I don't know why y'all excited about this.
Early pre-review of him.
So I was more than pleasantly surprised by this movie. And you guys bring up Cars 2 and Smurfs. Those are movies they're making because they want to make some money.
Yeah.
And here's a movie they seem to have made because they wanted to make the movie.
It makes some money, but
if they make money, fine.
They didn't take
but
away the integrity of the film.
Not at all. It never felt like a cash grab. It was just like, hey, there's something nice we put together. Enjoy it, and I did. For that's being 63 minutes. That's short, but it's like, man, that's thankfully short. I mean, it really got in and it got out with just the right amount of time. Didn't leave me. There was no lag in it, and a lot of bang for its buck. I mean, just mostly based on that. It comes in as a low full price to me. I mean, especially for a kids movie. I mean, maybe for myself, I'm thinking matinee, but it was like the thing that I just kind of needed. It was one of the more enjoyable movies I've seen this year, and really took me by surprise. So.
I'm going to be the guy.
I know you're going to be the guy.
I hate this because I think that as a film and with what this film is intending to be and who it's trying to be it for, it's near perfect for that. I mean, it's a film for toddlers. It really is. And it's a great message film. It's got the exact right sense of humor for them. These kids were loving it. We had an audience full of kids who were with this movie every step of the way, and you could totally tell why. There was not any, as you said, earlier, humor that was more directing towards adults or sidelines for adults, and that's where I have to go, okay, this is great for them. It didn't do much for me. I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, I laughed every once in a while, but this is directed at really young kids or people who are really nostalgic for Winnie the Pooh from when they grew up, and I don't even remember watching Winnie the Pooh when I grew up, so I don't have any nostalgia for it. I guess, I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, I can't fault it in any way, but at the same time, the best I can really give it is a matinee.
You damn sourpuss.
You asshole. You got to be a dick, man.
I'm sorry. I feel like I should
Why don't
give
you
it
smoke
something
some
better,
weed?
but I didn't really enjoy it all that much.
Well, that's for you. You were fair.
Balancing out the sides, and
You're
that's what it
all
comes
like,
down
I'm
to.
going to be that guy. That's not being that guy.
No, I
That's
didn't. There's
completely fair.
nothing to hate about this. It's just like I don't think I would tell a 16-year-old, yeah, dude, you're gonna love Winnie the Pooh, because you're not.
Are you kissing his
gonna be
ass,
bored.
I would
Leon?
take a 16-year-old gangbanger this because I know he'd be sitting there like, it was beautiful. Where am I going with my life? Everything I need to know, I can learn from Pooh. I know. I wish I didn't shoot that kid. I should have just been mellow about it.
Yeah, man. If I wouldn't have killed that guy had Pooh taught me that lesson.
Oh, wow. You one of those kids from
Yeah, and as soon as that guy learns
from a better life.
as soon as that guy learns that lesson, he walks out, bam, killed on the street.
And it's Pooh that did it. Fuck you, bitch.
He's more like, when's this bear gonna transform into something?
I have to admit, this movie was a fresh breath air for me, especially with all the summer
Fresh
crazy.
breath air?
I mean, a breath of fresh air.
Sorry, I thought you were making a joke, and I was
No.
Okay, sorry.
But I was completely just amazed by the talent that worked on this movie. I mean, the animation, I have to say, is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
I loved how it looked. I mean, I know it's probably done on a computer, but it just looked like traditional hand animation.
No, it is hand drawn animation.
Is it?
If I can just tell you, I mean, John Lasseter, for all the shit we gave him about Cars 2, John Lasseter is pretty much dedicated to 2D animation. He
Really?
wants to see it out there. Yeah,
Fooled me. All
Yeah, no, I mean, and this is one of those projects where he thought like this is perfect to actually bring to the theater. I mean, it's Winnie the Pooh. We're keeping it very traditional, and yeah, it is. I mean, now today they do certain things in computers, like we don't really use cells anymore.
You're right. They colored it.
They use
yeah.
computer paint for this and all this, but as far as the animation itself, yeah, it's pretty much traditional.
Well, you know what? It impressed the living hell out of me, and it was just refreshing to see that. And I'm glad they are not completely done with that. I mean, this movie is a testament to let other studios know, hey, don't give up on this. It still looks beautiful on screen. And as far as the humor, I don't want to say. I mean, yeah, it's directed towards kids, obviously, but I honestly think any adult would enjoy the hell out of this, because I sure as hell did. I was laughing throughout this whole movie. These characters are enjoyable. I'm not a Winnie the Pooh fan, but this movie actually it makes me want to be. It makes me want to look at all the movies before it. If you're saying they're as good as they are, but it was just a great family film. This is probably one of the best family films I've seen in a long time, since Toy Story, I'd say.
Yeah.
I definitely put it up there. And, I was on the verge of giving it Better Than Sex, but I mean, like I said, it wraps itself up so nicely. I think it's just a nice full price.
I think you can be arrested for giving Winnie the Pooh a Better Than Sex.
I was thinking about that. I was like,
to keep
sex with who?
Maybe that's my robot gut telling me, just keep it cool. Yeah, no need to go visit the Slammer tonight. But no, I mean, it was really awe-inspiring watching a movie like this, especially in this day and age, get made. And notice like the audience really love it, really enjoy it for what it is, which is just pure family entertainment in the purest sense of it.
Yeah, you don't have to be given adult humor on the slide to enjoy this. This is meant to be like, I guess, bring out the childhood in you.
It does, and it really does. It really does.
That's what's so refreshing about it, is that it could be so good without even a hint of cynicism. I'm so used to seeing cartoons. Most cartoons I watch are for adults. They have some kind of shock value to them.
Yeah.
And I only just recently started to realize, like, maybe I'm getting kind of tired of that. And seeing this is like, yeah, I just want something good.
You're right. I mean, maybe that's what it is. You get completely drowned in all the what everyone's trying to make you think is cool these days. Where it's like, no, like I said, there's a reason why certain properties work, and this is the great example of it.
Yeah, it was a wonderful film, man.
It is. It really is. I would not be shocked if like Oscar comes around, you see this in the running. Honestly,
well, Pixar's gonna get that.
Well,
they paid for the next 10 years.
Yeah. But saying that though, I'm hoping that this movie does well, only because you got Harry Potter coming out, and I hope it doesn't get drowned out by the rest of these films coming out. People really do need to see this, I think.
Well, I mean, this is the kids' film for kids who are too young for Harry Potter, quite frankly, because the new Harry Potter is pretty dark and violent.
That's true. It is more of an adult film.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and by the way, stick around to the very end. There is a scene at the very end which is hilarious. Yeah, you guys. I was sitting there just going, "Oh, those dumbasses."
Yeah. I know, man. You came in.
It was great. I told you about it. Yeah.
Now I got to go see it on Friday again.
It was hilarious, man. Yeah.
Now I got to look like a child molester, man. Going to see Winnie the Pooh by myself at midnight, even.
Exactly.
Eeyore coveting the cosmic cube. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Just dress up as Eeyore when you go.
And you know what? You made a great point by saying there's no big celebrity voice, and there's only 3 here, if you even want to count them as big. It's
Craig Ferguson.
John Cleese as a narrator,
right.
Tom Kenny as Rabbit, and maybe another character. And then
Tom Kenny, he's a voice actor.
He does that all the time.
One voice actor I noticed, because I was leaving, I wanted to see who they were, and the actor who did the voice of Piglet, Kanga, and Roo is Bruce W. Smith, who was the director of The Proud Family, that cartoon series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, wow. I guess he's still in the Disney stable. He doesn't have his own cartoon anymore, but just doing voices.
Well, there's a lot of people. The guy who does Pooh's voice, Jim Cummings, has been doing voices for Disney cartoons and animation since the 80s.
I was about to say,
was the original voice of Pooh.
Is he?
No, that guy
sounds so much
He
like
does.
does.
He nails it.
Yo, yeah, that guy's dead. Who did the original?
I can imagine a 90-year-old guy in that fucking in that room, in that room doing
But it
doing
just freaks
voices
me out because
still.
he sounds identical, like the guy who's trying to be Tigger. What was that actor? Paul Winchell used to do Tigger's
Yeah.
voice. And, Paul Winchell's dead, and the new guy doing Tigger. I mean, he does the best somebody could do. You can still tell it's not him. But Winnie the Pooh, I'm like, God
Dead
damn.
on.
Oh, it's Jim Cummings who does Pooh, who also does Tigger. So that guy does.
Is
a lot.
it? I thought they had somebody else's name on it.
No, that guy does.
Andrea
That guy
something.
does a lot of voices.
Okay.
and,
Oh,
you
he's one of those.
And they kind of think like, oh, this guy's dead. Get Jim in here and let him do that voice. And yeah, I was surprised to see Craig Ferguson. I mean, do a
Yeah.
voice. Craig Ferguson's starting to do a voice. where
How to Train Your
Yeah, How to
Dragon.
Train Your Dragon in this.
Yeah.
And I must mention that he also had a drinking and I think drug problem. So it all comes full circle
It all
here.
makes he relates to this property.
Oh, bother. Perhaps I could borrow some honey. Oh, just a taste. Oh, a small lick, I should think.
Silly old bear.
Somewhere